everyone. This is Barry Carter from the iConis podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. Don't let the show be a secret. We're all about sharing it and having a good time here. Hope you're doing well for the holidays and had a good time. On that note, I'm just doing some little one videos here once in a while, and we're doing another kind of unboxing, not unboxing video, but I wanted to kind of touch on this. I thought it was kind of cool. So the other day I would go over and I was checking out one-of-a-kind antique malls. I was over at one-of-a-kind antique mall out in Woodstock, Ontario. They have so much stuff there. You see my video that I've done on that before, and I'll make sure to tag that in here so you can kind of go through that again with me. The first time I went there, it was so amazing. And I've gone back a couple of times since. Now, first of all, I picked up the Big Jim camper. I picked up a Big Jim figure that goes with it, so I was very happy to add that to my collection. And I saw another time I went back, and I got the Starship, Star Trek Enterprise, the bridge. Wow, I know. And I got myself a figure that goes with it, as you can see here in the pictures. And we're going to kind of go further into that. So remember, like, subscribe, and share. Don't let the show be a secret. We're also part of the Subculture Podcast Network. And keep in mind that you can find us wherever you find your podcast at, right? So if you go to iconis.podbean.com, you'll find our podcast there. You'll find my website, barry3d.com, along with Rod. And, here's his socials. He's not here on this one, but got to share the love because that's my cousin. We're in this together. So, as you can see, I turned around and I was always interested, and I always wanted to have that when I was younger. I wanted to have the Star Trek Enterprise bridge from Mego Toys. I thought it was an interesting concept that they had, and they turned around and did it. The toy figures were a good size. I know some of my friends had this back in the day, and it looked amazing. It was a cardboard vinyl plastic. It was durable. It lasted time. And I said, hey, if I ever get the chance to add that to my own personal collection one day going down the road, I will definitely do so. So because of one-of-a-kind antique mall, I was able to do so. On top of that, I was extremely, extremely excited. So we all know Star Trek came out back in the day with Gene Roddenberry kind of helming and putting that all together. And because of, he tried to shop it around, it didn't get where it had to go. And thank you very much, Lucille Ball. Yes, Lucille Ball from I Love Lucy had her own studio with Desi Arnaz, her husband. And the two of them were able to take this project and say, hey, let's kind of get it out there. And they're the studio that got behind it. So without Lucille Ball, I Love Lucy, we wouldn't have Star Trek and all the wonders that it has today in the world. So, thank you very much. There we go. Now, Gene Roddenberry turned around and he did that, of course, with William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and the cast goes on and on and on and on. But we all know that. Don't have to do that history. We know it inside and out. But now, of course, every time back in the day, anytime you had a popular TV show or some type of property, toys were a lot more than they were today. In today's age, it's all about video games, electronic representation. Back then it was, can you have something physical go out for the kids to play with and kind of interact with, you watch your show, then you go and have your imagination to kind of reenact it or have your own adventures with these toys going forward. So Mego Toys got the license for this, and they came up with this playset back in 1974. So 1974 is when they released, the Star Trek Enterprise bridge that folds out. It came with a Captain Kirk figure as Mr. Spock. It didn't come with it, but you had a Captain Kirk figure, a Mr. Spock figure. You had a Klingon, and I can't remember who else it came with. I'm going to find it and put it up here so you can see it. So at least have proper representation. Got to be that way about it. I got this added to my collection. So, Mego used to do a lot of the toys back then. So growing up, that's what I would see, right? So we'd have Star Trek, we had the Batman figure, so we had a DC, like Super Friends, they had a Marvel license, so pretty much any toy coming out outside of like Barbie and Big Jim, and, was a lot of it was done by Mego. Yeah, they cornered the market until, they disappeared. In the early 1970s, Star Trek came across, and it had so much popularity. I mean, it didn't start off first, but then, of course, it came back in reruns and cult, and demand. It got back on air, and there we are. Here we are today. So looking at this, I went through and got this toy for myself, and it's just a toy set of the bridge. So it's got 3 main sections. So it folds out. So it carries as a carrying case, very neat, closes up. Okay, it's good. And you might see a little flap at the door here in the back. Now, if you unhitch it, it opens that door in the back, and it also gives you access to the transporter from the outside. So when you have the bridge fully open, you see the main part of the bridge. It's got that yellow console. It's got the 2 black chairs that would sit there by the bridge, so you can put people there to sit there to fly the Enterprise, so to speak. And then, of course, it had the captain's chair. and all these were moving about. And then to the left, you would see a transporter. So you'd be able to attach your figure into that little transporter, hit one button green to make it kind of spin around. You hit the red button to make it stop. So you can have someone on the inside, it would spin, and then they would be able to walk outside, and that was how they did the whole teleportation transporter room scenario. Loved it. Then, of course, you had a little door beside the transporter that would keep the cards, so to speak. So you'd have these 3 cards, double-sided, that have pictures that would click in the background to act as the view screen. So you'd get different scenarios of a Klingon ship. You'd see a spaceship, and it wasn't licensed like the Enterprise or another Enterprise, but you would see, like, hands coming out. So some of it was inspired by the episodes that we watched, and it gave you different things on the view screen. Very interactive that way. And then on the right, of course, you had a more just an open area. There was nothing more in there like a console to put in. But, of course, it had room for all the figures. So it acted as a carrying case. It was a playset. It was interactive. You were able to change the view screens. You could have your characters teleport in and out. And I think that's all you needed, right? And it looked good. Like, everything on the wall, it was cardboard, but then wrapped in plastic. So if you spilled something on it, it wouldn't get damaged. It wouldn't rip that easy. It wouldn't break. It was durable. It was durable. I can't remember what the price point was when it first originally came out, but it really represented the bridge of the USS Enterprise for figures at that time. I believe the figures were 8-inch figures, and they had pretty much full articulation, right? So the knees, elbows, wrist, shoulders, they would all move. You'd be able to move the torso, the head, the feet, and they came fully dressed. So as you can see from the figure I've added in here, you see Mr. Spock. You see Mr. Spock top to bottom in the chair. I couldn't find a Captain Kirk. I just wanted a figure, and I said I found this. They had closed ones, still carded, that were out of my price range for what I wanted. I just wanted a figure. It didn't have to be in the best condition, but I bought this Mr. Spock figure for $20. Can't even tell. The arm seems to be out of the socket, but you can't really tell. He sits down, everything else works. He's got his little tricorder with him on his belt. The costume is clean. I couldn't believe I got that just for $20. That's even cheaper than you would buy some stuff today's market if you had to buy something that's size. And a totally cloth thing. So, knick-knack, I just wanted to have something to show with the bridge instead of an empty bridge there. Now, yes, that's right. So it's an 8-inch. And, at the time, Mego was known for the world's greatest superheroes action figures. That's what they were able to do. And then they wanted to expand on that line. And, and it was scaled to size. It was all scaled to size. So as you can see from the front to the back, as I'm panning around, I'm talking and I'm panning around, so showing you this at the same time so you can see everything that was a part of that set. And it was so much fun to have. So, do I think that some of these things are missing today now? Yes, because we don't get the play sets that we used to get, for the kids. Because I said, the world has changed. It's gone more electronic. But something always nice to have the tangible stuff. And if you got to go and get something to add to your collection, I think this would be one, especially for a Star Trek fan. This is something fun to have there, put on a shelf, open it up, display it. That's what I'm going to do when I find a proper spot for it. But till then, thank you very much for tuning into the iConis podcast. Once again, this is Barry Carter here. And remember, this whole world was started by a pencil, a piece of paper, and lots of imagination.